Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Inspiro virtual roundtable. I'm Rico Hizon, your moderator. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. The business process outsourcing sector is, often referred to as one of the country's central economic pillars. From a handful of contact centers to a global back office resource hub to the call center capital of the world, this industry continues to attract jobs and investments for the Philippines, even thriving during this COVID 19 pandemic. With over a million kababayans employed in this industry, I am sure we know of friends and relatives who are contact center agents. Still, we have not heard much about the leaders whose experience and expertise are critical in managing large-scale, multi-country contact center operations. So in this Inspiro virtual roundtable discussion, we learn more about our BPO leaders and their Filipino brand of leadership. And now I am so happy to introduce to all of you the leaders from Inspiro. Please say hello to Rizel Mati, JP Maris, Stan D, Sly Cruz, and Romel Regino. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
please wave to
Hello.
all our viewers and all to our guests who are watching us right now for this Inspiro virtual roundtable. Hope everyone is doing well today. Let's start off this discussion with you, Rizel. Share with us what you do for Inspiro.
Yes, so hi Rico. I've been with the company for almost 15 years now, and I
Mhm.
manage all of the programs in the Asia Pacific region.
15 years with Inspiro Rizel, and you have a huge responsibility covering the Asia Pacific region. How did you start with the company?
Well, actually, my career in the contact center industry started so many years ago, more than 20 years ago. I started out
Mhm.
as an agent with Citibank Philippines because I thought at that time it was a stepping stone for me to do other things later on, not knowing that the stepping stone would turn out to be a long term career choice. And then after so many years with the bank, then I moved to Inspiro.
Wow, 2 decades in the industry and 15 years with Inspiro, a wonderful and growing career with the company. Thank you so much, Rizel, for introducing yourself. JP, let's get over to you. Tell us
Hello,
about your
Rico.
role with Inspiro. Hi, JP.
Hello, Inspire Nation. JT Maris, I currently oversee our Philippines and US operations
Mhm.
for our most tenured and biggest client. I've been with the company for 9.5 years, going 10 in June, and
Oh,
I've been in the industry for about 18 years now.
wow, almost 10 years with Inspiro. But share with us, JP, how did you start your career with Inspiro?
With Inspiro, I was hired originally to launch new accounts. Eventually, 6 months into that role, they asked me to transition as a site director to our biggest client. And it was quite a transition. At the time, the biggest client was about 60% of our entire company, and then the culture was very different. But with the right leadership, the right actions that we put in place, we were able to stabilize the program, eventually grow it further.
Wow, it's been a very successful run so far with Inspiro. And Stan, tell us something about what you do for the company.
Hey, hi Rico. I lead several key accounts that
Mhm.
has multiple sites in Luzon and then Visayas, Central America, the US, and Europe. So yeah, that's mainly what I do.
And what attracted you to join Inspiro?
Well, I always wanted to join them, but when I
Mhm.
joined, it was around that time wherein they were growing and growing. Rizel was one of the ladies that interviewed me, so yeah, so I'm here. But yeah, what made me stay was it's this family culture that's really genuine. The
Mhm.
people in
Mhm.
this call, they're the first people that I approach. If I need help, no hesitation. The other thing is really empowerment. Here you can take an idea, make it into a solution, make it into an offering, and even share it, for someone to take it further. And you can, sharpen the saw, grow the business. You have the liberty to do that. And it's the work that we do is very valuable.
Mm.
Unemployment is really high. And just recently we're entrusted to hire thousands and thousands of employees. So we are entrusted to give them the discipline and to deliver that service and excellence, for our clients. So it's very enriching.
I like what you just said about joining the right organization, being having the right fit, the right values for you. It has a family culture, camaraderie with your colleagues, and the never-ending challenges and opportunities that will make you grow in your career in this industry. Sly, let's move over to you. Share with us your responsibilities with Inspiro.
Right. Yeah. So for those who don't know me, I'm Sly Cruz. I've been with Inspiro for about 4 years and almost 2 decades in the industry. So currently, I manage our emerging accounts operations on the international side. But from the onset, I also had an opportunity to help out with our solutions, strategies, and implementations.
20 years in the industry and now 4 years with Inspiro. Um, what basically made you join the company?
Yeah. So Inspiro presented an opportunity about 7 years ago, but at that time, it felt like it wasn't the right timing yet. And so 3 years later, another opportunity was presented. This time it was a very pivotal for Inspiro because they were rebranding. They got acquired by a new company, which is our new parent company right now, Relaya. And so uh, I got really excited with with joining Inspiro at a very exciting time. They're doing a massive reorganization, they're rebranding, and really the opportunity to lead and grow the emerging accounts and also help align the practices of strategy, solutions, and implementation was what to me was very appealing. So I decided to take that opportunity and never left since.
Mm-hmm. Loyal to Inspiro, and I can really feel among all of you, the love and passion for your work and your goals to grow the business, and you're always challenged to re-engineer, redesign operations despite the challenging times that we are facing right now. And Romel, tell us, no, what did you do for Inspiro, and how long have you been in this role?
Thank you, Rico. So, I've been with the company for 8 years now, and I oversee global operations and
Mm.
sales and the leaders that are with us right now. My main role is to bring out the best in them. And it is an opportunity for me and a privilege at the same time to be able to do that. And it's also a great showcase for me as well to be able to demonstrate what a strong value of this organization. We're probably the only company that has a Filipino culture called
Mm.
Malasakit. And this company is actually playing to the global arena, bringing that very strong Filipino trait, and which I think is a differentiator, and which why our clients loves us.
And Romel, I would like to greet you. No, it's happy anniversary, 8th year with Inspiro.
Thank you.
What made you join the company, which already has a wealth of talent and great leaders?
Yeah, so Rico, I had the opportunity to speak with the leaders before me joining Inspiro then, and in speaking to all of them, I realized so much leadership potential that can still be unlocked, and so much of the value that we can still bring into the table. And knowing that you are taking on an all-star cast type of a team, if this is a basketball team, why would you refuse to be part of that, right? So I realized that I have one of the best leaders in the BPO space, and I do not want to have that or lose that opportunity to be able to be part of them and at the same time learn from them as well.
So with Inspiro, there's great potential, wonderful experiences inspired by the story of growth, the continuous evolution, and always excited by the prospects and the opportunity to make it an even better organization. So thank you so much to our Inspiro leaders. You have Rizel, you have JP, Stan, Sly, and Romel for your inspirational introductions. We all got to know you better. And from what you've shared with us so far, I can feel that you are really committed to your jobs and to making this business even grow bigger and larger. So, JP, you joined the industry straight out of college, and I was reading some of your background. Your sister was key to your joining the BPO sector. How was experience back then when you started, and how has it evolved through the years?
Yes, that's right, Rico. My older sister was really the who in terms of why I joined the industry. So it was 2001. She was fresh off college. She joined a multinational BPO at the time. And in my case, I was on my last year of college. And then I look at her every time she's home. She's always talking to people in English, and then she's always wearing preppy clothes. And then my mom and her would always talk that if she was to go to pharma or to banking industry, she'd probably not get the salary that she was getting at the time. And through that 1 year, Rico, in just 1 year, she was also promoted to a supervisory role. So that was very inspirational for me, and kind of figured that when I finished my degree that I will pursue the same career. And so I did. And after that, as they say, the rest was history. In terms of experience, I think there's a lot of changes that has taken place over the last 18 years since I joined the industry. But for me, Rico, the most important one I would say, and I'm sure my peers would agree with me, is that in the early 2000s, the BPO industry was perceived to be, oh, you're working in a call center, you're a telephone operator. That's how it was perceived back then. Fast forward to today, to your point, as you were mentioning earlier, the industry is the second biggest contributor to our country's GDP.
Yes.
One of the more resilient industry when the pandemic hit, and with over 1 million Filipinos or kabayans working in the industry. So now that stigma, if you will, that we had almost 2 decades ago no longer exists, and I'm very proud of it.
Your sister was indeed an inspiration for you joining this industry, but the bottom line was the allure of the BPO job was just too difficult to resist for you, JP. And for many people now, it's a first priority job. When you say contact center, BPO, oh, I want to be part of that industry. And many are excited to work, in a fast-paced environment that will challenge them to use their problem solving skills and improve the customer experience, communication skills, and interacting with customers. Like, what about you? You've had exposure in all areas of operations, from training, quality, even recruitment. How did your experience help you in your role today in Inspiro?
Yeah, running the daily service delivery is more complicated than it sounds. I always compare it to, an auto mechanic. It's not enough that, you know how to drive a car, you know how it operates. You really have to understand each and every part and how they contribute to how the car runs. And so that's how it is in operations. So in order for you to really run an effective operations, be able to, create proactive measures to avoid any problems in the future. You really have to understand, each department and how they enable your operations team. And so I think that helped me really a lot, understanding each of the functions, and also, understanding where they're coming from, what their challenges are,
Mhm.
and what I need to look for in each of those departments as they support my operations team. So yeah, I feel that I'm really blessed to be given an opportunity to really go through each of those departments before ending up in operations.
I like that's life, making the comparison. Uh, Being an effective leader is also being it's like also being like an auto mechanic, understanding every little part of that BPO engine. Stan, over to you now. Like your colleagues, you also started as an agent and you've
Yep.
been with other BPO firms.
Yep.
You have been with Inspiro for more than 5 years, and you have
Yes.
said this is your first long-term job. Why the staying power in Inspiro?
Well, um, aside from what I mentioned a while ago, it's been pretty rewarding. It's a people-intensive business. It's a global, highly competitive environment. But
Mm,
it's this journey with this team. Pulling through. Competing. Outperforming and winning with my team. And of course, it's people. So you recognize them. It's pretty amazing. With people. How they step up and just amaze you on what they can do. And at the end of the day, celebrating with all of them, and just having all of those triumphs over and over again. It's been a lovely journey, and of course, we're very well rewarded.
oh yes, definitely well rewarded. That's why many of you have remained in this industry for a long time. I like that. Celebrating the victories and the losses. Together as a team, and of course with your clients. Rizel, all of you have grown tremendously in your careers in this industry. What else do you look forward to? What other goals have you set for yourself?
I think for me, I just want to stick around and see where the company goes in the next
Mhm.
3 to 5 years. It's always exciting to be part of that journey. We've accomplished so much in the last 10 years. So just to see where it's going in the next 3 to 5 years, I want to stick around for that. And like what Stan said, it's such a supportive environment. That culture of Malasakit is really such a motivating
Mm.
reason to stick around.
Stick around, not only the near term, the medium term, but in the long term, because there's so much potential in the BPO industry. And you are all successful in managing operations for the most prominent logos, outsourcing to the Philippines. Sly, what are the challenges and rewards in managing multiple teams virtually, developing domain expertise, and high engagement with teams?
Right. I think you mentioned it, especially in the new normal.
Mm.
In the past, while a lot of our teams are in different geographies, there's still some opportunities for us to do, face-to-face touch points with them, because we can schedule, regular trips to the likes of like our Dumaguete site or Iloilo, or even our North American sites. But because of the restrictions brought about by the pandemic, we would really have to manage our team 100% virtually, except for those that are
Yeah.
obviously here in the Metro Manila. And so, that adds another layer of complexity into the human connection, because, managing your team, managing your operations is all about human connection, as Romel would always tell us. And so, you have to be very creative in, engaging your team. You have to be, reinvent yourself, reinvent how you do things to keep the effectiveness of the engagement. That's one. Number two, while we're seeing a lot of the businesses and a lot of the industries, um, dropping in terms of their sales and revenue, we continue to see growth in the BPO space. And so that
Mm.
adds pressure to us, because now we're getting more clients, and the expectation is the same, more so higher. And so we then have to create within the limitations brought about by the pandemic to deliver operational excellence, domain expertise, and really provide a seamless and a really excellent experience for our new clients. And so that's very challenging, but at the same time, very rewarding.
Mm. What about you, Stan? On your end, what are the challenges and rewards in managing clients in different time zones, transforming clients' business, and winning versus other BPO companies?
Well, there's ongoing challenges definitely. One is perhaps maintaining that consistency, and but yet being able to pass the baton to your teammates, and just maintaining that excellence. Because again, it's a highly competitive environment. One of the most
Mhm.
challenging situations is perhaps this pandemic. Last year, it was the lockdown, but we needed to continue operating for our clients while maintaining the safety and security of our agents. And our boss here,
Mhm.
led most of it. So just really quickly, as you can imagine, part of it needed to stay on site. So we needed to, again, maintain that security, the necessary solution, and the investment, the huge investment. A big chunk of it is we needed to shift to a work at home setup, thousands and thousands of employees. So how do you maintain, again, that protection, security, and service for our clients while, again, maintaining the security of the agents. Now, it's a new norm, so it
Mm.
continues. Perhaps for me, the new challenge is maintaining that connection with the agents. We're growing. There are new agents. So perhaps we're striving to do something like what you're doing to continuously be seen, to continuously update them, and to continuously guide them.
And what about for you, JP? What are the ups and downs in retaining talent during this new normal?
Yeah, it's been I would say pretty challenging, Rico. I think that's has always been our biggest challenge, employee retention. So you can only
Mm.
imagine that with the BPO industry and how it has grown, from 2 decades ago, you would think that people keeps moving around, right? And Sly and Stan touch on it a little bit. How we connect with our employees, how we try our best to retain them. We have our minimum best practices to ensure that we stay connected with them from the time they start their training to the time that they are on production or operations, as we call it. And this pandemic didn't make it easier. Obviously, the virtual setting was something new for us a couple of months ago, but the nice thing is that as a company, we were able to adapt. The landscape changed and we adapted. And I would say that we are much in a much better position now, not just to be able to attract talents, but to also retain them.
And Romel, you are managing Inspiro's global operations, and you work closely with all of these capable and smart leaders. Why do you think our leaders excel in this particular field? That's why the Philippines is the call center capital of the world.
Rico, it's probably high time to recognize that Filipino talent, Filipino leadership is indeed world class. I have the opportunity to work with many nationalities in this space and in previous life, and I can say that the Filipino talent, these leaders that we have now, can really go side by side. We are very talented, and we have all the right managerial capabilities and visionary perspective when it comes to strategies. So as I hear the leadership earlier talks about how to run a global operation, so it's sounding like very simple, and yet it is not. And the rigor, the resiliency is something perhaps I would probably only see for a Filipino leader, and that's why
Mhm.
it's such an immense joy and a great learning opportunity to be able to move something and talk about a growth path, a growth journey. When you have a leadership team that is very willing, is very open, and will be willing to take on and learn and mature and fight on this in this global arena. There's that high recognition that there will be competition not just from within but also across the world, and we would like to prove that we will remain, and we are probably the only uh, destination when it comes to the BPO. And I think there is some recognition around that. I remember this story in 2005, and a client has asked, where is the next Philippines when it
Mhm.
comes to the BPO? And this was 2005, Rico. Now it's 2021. I do not think any country or any destination has grown in this massive scale and size. And that's why I truly believe that the BPO home is actually here in the Philippines.
Absolutely. But Romel, the competition out there is immense. What will it take for the Philippines to sustain this leadership in the call center universe? What will it take for us to remain at the top
Yeah.
despite the odds?
Thank you, Rico. So, this whole pandemic has completely accelerated many of the technology adoption. It's a complete evolution that we saw in the last 12 months. It's probably the biggest disruptor that we have seen in the last decade or so. The adoption of digital solution technology around the BPO space have tremendously been felt. And it's very important that people that are part of the BPO space need to be equipped on what these are. And Inspiro is definitely aligning to that in a warp speed. Number two, JP mentioned about the understanding of the BPO before. I remember way back in '99, maybe showing my age here now, where we were convincing universities that this is a career. And we are having that sense that, they have very, very little understanding of the BPO. It didn't have a name then, but now I think there is much support from the academy, and that's what we need. We need more talents because there's so much opportunity and there's so much growth still ahead of us. And then number three, I think, is the government support. BPO is definitely one of the contributors when it comes to the GDP of the country. And I feel that, or I believe that, during the pandemic, this was one of the industry that really thrived and provided, livelihood and employment continuity to many, many of our people here that, somehow has helped, lessen those that have been heavily impacted by the pandemic. So I think if we get all these three things correct, I feel we will remain to be the contact center destination of the world.
Romel, JP, Stan, Sly, and Richelle, thank you so much for this thoughtful exchange on Filipino leadership. I am really, really proud that I have spoken to all of you. And as a broadcast journalist, I have learned so much from your leadership styles. And here are some key takeaways from this virtual roundtable on the Filipino brand of leadership, which has made Inspiro and its team very successful in the industry. I've learned that from this discussion that leaders really have to work with each other. There has to be teamwork. There has to be integrity, accountability, and of course, empathy, malasakit in our jobs. And we have to continue to always mentor, nurture each and every one of us to be a better person and to be a better employee. I would also like to add that our leaders are, from what you have just said in your statements, that we have to be agile, nimble, passionate at what we do, and love your jobs to the core. Um, you know, my observations that all of them are humble, despite their success. They have foresight, and finally, they're all committed to be winners and share the victory with everyone, despite the odds. So your leadership has shown that despite the continuous evolution of the sector, you are winners in all aspects. And I would also like to say, just look at the painting behind me. You are all heroes, just like Jose Rizal. I laud all of you. Um, and as we end this Inspiro virtual roundtable, I would like to leave you with this saying from the late General Electric chairman and CEO, Jack Welch, which I know all of you know him. Uh, quote, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. So I would like to thank all of you for joining us today for this Inspiro virtual roundtable. I'm Rico Hizon, your moderator. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day, everyone.